Senator Cynthia Lummis just put a year on the Clarity Act failing. That year is 2030. If you hold 1,000 XRP, that is about $1,000 tonight, and 2030 is the wait she just described. Senators leave town Thursday. Coinbase says the Clarity Act is good to go. The White House is holding an ethics counteroffer that may decide it. I'll show you every name that moved in the last 2 days. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want more XRP news. Let's roll the first tape.
And come back next year or the year after that. The realistic next change at market structure legislation is likely 2030 at the earliest. In the meantime, we'll lose businesses to other countries. We lose investment and jobs and tax revenue to jurisdictions moving faster than we are. We inhibit law enforcement's ability to hold bad actors accountable. And we lose our seat at the table to shape how this industry grows. At the exact same moment, we have the chance to guide it responsibly. We didn't get here by ceding the internet to Europe, and we cannot afford to cede digital assets the same way, especially now that we've already done the hard work, 5.5 years, putting this bill together. The window to lead right now is wide open. The end zone is inches away. But that window will not stay open for a body that continues to respond to opportunity with not yet. I've got an election. I don't want to take a stand. Opportunity waits for no one. Let's cinch up. Let's punch the ball into the end zone and pass the Clarity Act now.
That is Senator Cynthia Lummis on her own Senate channel, and she's not guessing. Her line is that the realistic next chance at market structure legislation is likely 2030, and market structure legislation is her own name for the Clarity Act, XRP's rulebook. So the Senate's choice is not this month against next month. It is now against a weight that outlasts most people's patience. Here is the freshest thing on my screen tonight. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says the Clarity Act is good to go. Over $30 trillion in capital will enter the crypto space. Two different claims are stacked on one post, so separate them. First is the Coinbase's posture. The Clarity Act is good to go. The second is that over $30 trillion in capital enters crypto behind it. In massive news from Coinbase's Faryar, Shirzad says on the Clarity Act, we've got ethics nailed down, we've got nominations nailed down, we've got a bipartisan bill on substance, we should be good to go.
We do. So we got 78 votes among Democrats in the House and every Republican. I think we'll get just about every Republican. It's, you have a couple that we may lose here and there. There's been a working group of about 12 Democrats who've been spending unbelievable amounts of time for the last year to shape the bill into the way it is at the moment. So this bill reflects hundreds of pages of Democratic priorities. Democrats asked the White House to make a commitment on nominations for the SEC and the CFTC. The White House has done that. They've asked for an ethics provision that specifically applies to the president for the first time in American history. He has agreed to that. So we've got ethics nailed down, we've got nominations nailed down, we've got a bipartisan bill on the substance. We should be good to go, but people are still fighting over the edges.
That voice is Faryar Shirzad, and he is speaking for Coinbase. His claim is narrower and better than any slogan. Ethics nailed down, nominations nailed down, a bipartisan bill on substance. Then the line at the end, we should be good to go. That is finished business waiting on a floor, and the Clarity Act decides how XRP, ROUSD, and the XRP ledger get treated in America. So why is it not on the floor? Because one piece is still sitting inside the building. President Trump weighs bipartisan ethics proposal as clarity hangs in the balance. This weekend will be a high-stakes waiting game for Clarity Act supporters as the White House considers an ethics counteroffer involving state attorneys general. Trump weighs a bipartisan ethics proposal as clarity hangs in the balance. Those are her words. She calls this weekend a high-stakes waiting game for Clarity Act supporters. What is being weighed involves state attorney generals, each state's own top law enforcement lawyer. Enforcement power is the whole argument, and XRP has been on the wrong end of it before. I read it myself, and her post stops there. Hold on, the names are on this screen. The White House now officially has bipartisan ethics counteroffer on the Clarity Act, and Trump's answer may decide the bill. Tillis and Gallego want state attorney generals able to sue the DOJ over ethics enforcement failures. Cloture vote is possible next week if this clears. Senators leave town on Thursday. And we've seen those names before. Tillis and Gallego built this counteroffer together, and it is bipartisan. One Republican, one Democrat on the same side. Their ask is written plainly. State attorney generals able to sue the Justice Department when ethics enforcement fails. That is the same reporting, told twice, one story, not two confirmations. What it adds is the clock. A cloture vote is possible next week if this clears and senators leave town Thursday. Somebody else put a hard number on that clock as well. The Senate now has only 4 days to pass the Clarity Act before the August recess. This is the final shot to make America the crypto capital of the world. The floodgates are about to open if the Senate gets this done.
But I will say this. To me, cryptos are very powerful. A lot of people are using it. Bitcoin, they're using it at levels that I don't think anybody understands really how powerful. And if we didn't do it, China would do it in a minute.
And obviously, this isn't just going to be massive for XRP. It's going to be massive for crypto in general. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, all the cryptos are going to see an overall boost when we see the Clarity Act passing. 4 days left is not 4 chances. Final language gets locked, floor time gets lined up, and each step burns a day. Here is my question today. Does Trump sign off on this ethics deal in time for XRP to get its vote before the recess? Put yes or no in the comments below. Tap the like, subscribe, and notification bell while you're down there. Michael Saylor, the massive Bitcoin bull, says he supports advancing the Clarity Act through bipartisan work to establish clear, durable rules, protect property rights, promote innovation, and strengthen American capital markets. While Washington waits, the money is going on the record. Michael Saylor says he supports advancing the Clarity Act. His words, through bipartisan work to establish clear, durable rules and protect property rights. Property rights, that is a balance sheet asking Congress to make owning a digital asset legally boring. Every rule he's asking for lands on XRP the same day it lands on anything else, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or any other crypto. And by Lummis's account, one senator would rather that day never arrive. Senator Cynthia Lummis says Senator Elizabeth Warren hates Trump so much that she'd rather have no rules of the road for the crypto industry. That is the senator describing another senator, saying that she hates Trump so much that she would rather have no rules for the road on crypto at all. No rules of the road means XRP keeps living in that gray area it's been living in this whole time. That is her read on the other side of this vote. Before you decide how this lands, hear the senator carrying the Clarity Act answer, which is the only question that matters.
Are you still on track for a Senate vote before the August recess?
Yes, I am. We have one more week here in Washington, at least. Yes, there's a lot to do. We have multiple nominations we want to get through. There's talk of a continuing resolution vote. There's the Iran and Ukraine/Russia sanctions vote, and other things that are important on the agenda. But Senator Thune has kept a place for the Clarity Act on the agenda before the August recess for many, many weeks now. And I believe he does intend to go through with it. So we will be proceeding. And I can't tell you whether it's going to be tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, but we will be moving forward.
She says yes, and Thune has held a place for the Clarity Act on the agenda for weeks. Now the live XRP chart. The XRP price sits at $1.06, off about 1% across the past day, while every name you just watched lined up behind it. That is your XRP news today in one line. The XRP price is down. The Clarity Act is being pushed forward. Now the full board. Coinbase's Faryar Shirzad says ethics and nominations are nailed down. The Tillis and Gallego ethics counteroffer sits with Trump, and his answer may completely settle it. Cloture is possible next week. Senators leave Thursday, and Rizzo counts 4 days. Michael Saylor is on the record asking for property rights. Elizabeth Warren, by Lummis's account, would rather have no rules of the road for XRP or any other crypto. Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, everything included. And the senator carrying it says she is still on track with 2030 as an alternative. From here into next week, I'm watching 2 markers, a word out of that building, and a name day on the Senate schedule. Nobody spends a weekend negotiating over something that they mean to let die. If you hold 1,000 XRP tonight and you are one decision from the vote week, all of these people keep pointing at. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more XRP news, and I'll see you in the next video.